Good morning all of you. This is 11th class biology, lecture 7 of chapter 3, plant kingdom. Topics to be discussed today are alternation of generation and plant life cycles. So here we will discuss about the haplontic type of life cycle, diplontic type and haplodiplontic. So let's start with the alternation of generation in plants. So haploid and diploid cells in plants produce haploid and diploid plant bodies respectively by mitosis division. Okay, when the mitosis division occurs in any cell, then what happens? Number of chromosomes remain same. That's why it is called equational division. Okay, so when the haploid cell undergoes mitosis division, it makes the haploid plant body, and when the diploid cell undergoes mitosis division, it makes diploid plant body. Right? Now the haploid plant body produces gametes and hence represents gametophytes. So in plants, the plant body that is haploid, haploid plant body produces gametes, and gamete producing plant body is called gametophyte, and the diploid plant body produces spores and is called sporophyte. Right? So spore producing diploid plant body is called sporophyte. Now you can see here this is sporophyte generation, the diploid plant body. Okay, because this diploid plant body in plants produce spores. Okay, sporophyte generation produces spores. That's why we are calling it sporophyte, because it is spore producing. Okay, now these spores germinate, and after germination these spores grow into gametophyte generation. So spores germinate to form the gametophyte generation here. Right? Now this gametophyte generation, it produces gametes, and that's why we call it gametophyte generation, because it is producing gametes. Okay, so gametes means egg and sperm, or you can say male and female gametes are produced by the gametophyte. Now these gametes get fused and form the zygote. So zygote is formed here in the plant life cycle, and again this zygote will develop and form the sporophytic plant body, means sporophyte generation. So this zygote grows into sporophyte generation, or you can say develop to form the sporophyte generation, which is again diploid. So you can say both the haploid and this diploid phase is present in the plant life cycle, and how both these phases are coming in the life cycle of the plant. Gametophyte produces gametes and sporophyte produces spores. Okay, gametes unite to form the zygote, and the zygote form the sporophyte. Now depending on the number of cells in the sporophytic and gametophytic phases, both the phases are present in plant life cycle, but that how many number of cells are present in the sporophytic and the gametophytic phases of the plant, depending on that we have three types of life cycles. Okay, whether the sporophytic phase is unicellular or gametophytic phase is unicellular, or which phase is multicellular. So depending on these things, we have three different types of life cycles in plants: haplontic, diplontic and haplodiplontic. So first is haplontic type of life cycle. Here what happens, the sporophytic generation is represented only by one-celled zygote. Okay, the sporophytic generation means diploid phase. Okay, so diploid phase in the plant life cycle is represented by a one-celled zygote, means it is unicellular. Diploid phase of the plant is unicellular, and which structure is representing it? Zygote. Okay, so it is one-celled zygote and free-living here the free-living sporophytes are absent. Okay, only one-celled zygote is found, which represent the sporophytic generation, and no free-living sporophytes are present here. Now haploid spores are formed by meiosis. How the haploid spores will be formed? This zygote that has been formed here, it undergoes meiosis division. okay, because it is representing sporophyte, and you know sporophyte produces the spores, right? So this zygote undergoes meiosis division here and produce the spores, which divide mitotically to form the gametophyte. Now these spores here will divide mitotically, and you can say these will germinate and will form the gametophyte. Okay, now this gametophyte phase which is present here, this is the dominant photosynthetic phase in such plants is the free living gametophyte. Okay, so this gametophyte is a free living stage here, and it is dominant phase and it is photosynthetic phase, means can prepare food for the plant. Okay, such type of life cycle is called haplontic life cycle. Why? Because you know the gametophyte is haploid structure, okay, sporophyte is diploid structure. And here in these plants, which phase is dominant? Gametophytic phase is dominant. Okay, that is the dominant and photosynthetic phase, and this gametophyte is haploid. That's why name of this life cycle is haplontic life cycle, because haploid structure is dominant here, not the diploid structure. Okay, that's why this is haplontic life cycle. Now these are the examples of the plants in which haplontic type of life cycle is found. So in most of the algae, haplontic life cycle is found. Okay, like volvox, Spirogyra, some species of Chlamydomonas. So all these are algae. Volvox, Spirogyra, Chlamydomonas, all these are algae, and in these haplontic life cycle is found. So you can see in most of the algae haplontic life cycle is found. There are some exceptions also that I will tell you in next cycle. This figure is representing haplontic type of life cycle. So here this gametophyte, okay, this is represented by N. N means this is haploid, because the gametophyte is the dominant stage in the haplontic life cycle, or the plants having haplontic life cycle. This phase is dominant. That's why we are starting from here. So this is gametophyte. It is represented by N, means it is haploid. Okay, and what is the function of gametophyte? To produce the gametes, right? So it produces the gametes, undergoes gametogenesis. Gametogenesis means process of formation of gametes. Now when the gametes will be formed, these will get fused. Okay, so this is fusion, means syngamy, or you can say fertilization, right? And after the syngamy, zygote is formed. Okay, so this zygote will be formed here, and because the two haploid gametes have fused here, so this zygote will be diploid. That's why we are writing 2N, means diploid. So this zygote is diploid here, and only this is a cell in the complete life cycle of such plants which is a diploid stage, which is a diploid cell. No other cell is diploid in the complete life cycle. Okay, only zygote is diploid. That's why this zygote is representing sporophytic phase of these plants, or you can say this is also called sporophyte. This is called sporophytic generation of these plants, and it is represented only by a single cell. And what is the name of that single cell? That is zygote. Now what happened? This zygote undergoes meiosis division here. Okay, means reductional division. Okay, by reductional division it makes spores. So all these spores are formed here. You can say this single zygote is undergoing meiosis division, and you know, result of meiosis, 4 cells are formed from one cell. So here one zygote is making these 4 spores, right? Now after germination, these spores again give rise to a gametophyte. Okay, so this is the complete haplontic life cycle which is found in most of algae. Now next type of life cycle is diplontic life cycle. And here also diplontic word is coming from the diploid, means where the diploid phase is dominant. So in these plants what happened? The diploid phase is dominant. What is diploid phase? Sporophyte. So diploid sporophyte is the dominant photosynthetic independent phase of the plant, right? and the gametophytic phase is represented by the single to few celled haploid gametophyte. So it is just opposite of the haplontic life cycle. Just opposite of the haplontic life cycle, here gametophytic phase is represented by a single or by a few cells. Okay, very few in number. So a few cells representing haploid gametophyte here, right? And which is the dominant phase? Sporophyte is the dominant phase. And example of such plants are all the gymnosperms and angiosperms. So all the flowering plants and the gymnosperms that you see around you, those are diploid plant body. Those are showing diploid plant body. Okay, like the plant body that you see, all the leaves, stem, roots, all those are having diploid cells. Okay, and that is sporophytic plant body. Okay, and their gametophytic phase is represented only by a few cells, like inside the flower male and female sex organs are present, and inside those that embryo sac, and inside the male organ pollen grains, those are forming. Only that structure is representing haploid gametophyte of these plants. This figure is representing diplontic type of life cycle. And here, because in diplontic life cycle, sporophyte is the dominant phase, that's why we will start from here. Dominant phase, that is sporophyte. Okay, the plants that you see around you, all the parts of those plants like leaves, stem and roots, all are diploid structure. Okay, and those are sporophytic plant body. So that it is represented by 2n. Okay, now what happened in this sporophyte, you know, in a angiospermic plant body, flowers are also present. Okay, so inside those flowers, meiosis division occurs. Meiosis division means reductional division, which in which chromosome number becomes half from 2n to n. Okay, so meiosis division occurs here, and gametophyte is formed. Okay, gametophyte will having the chromosome number half, so it is represented by n here. Okay, so this is, we can say this is haploid structure. How it has been formed? By meiosis division in sporophyte. Okay, so we can say here the gametophyte is formed, and also gametogenesis occurs in the gametophyte, which results into formation of gametes. Okay, so here this complete phase from here to here, this is diplontic phase, and here where the gametophyte has been formed, that is haploid structure. It is representing the haploid phase of these plants. Okay, now inside the gametophyte, gametes are formed, and those gametes will fuse, or you can say syngamy occurs, and after syngamy there will be formation of zygote. Zygote is again a diploid cell, right? So it is represented by 2n, and again zygote after development makes the sporophyte. Okay, zygote develop to form the embryo, and that embryo give rise to a complete sporophyte plant body, right? So here this complete structure from here, starting from the zygote and this sporophyte and up to the meiosis division up to here, this is complete diploid phase in plant life cycle. Okay, and haploid phase is represented only by this portion where the gametophyte is formed. Okay, one or a few celled gametophyte is formed here. So you can see the difference. That's why, because this diploid phase is for the longer time, and it is represented by the multicellular structure. So this is the dominant phase. Okay, and here this gametophyte means the haploid phase is represented only by this portion. Okay, that's why this life cycle is diplontic life cycle. Okay, next type of life cycle is haplodiplontic. Haplodiplontic, as the name indicating, haplo means haploid, diplo means diploid. Okay, so we can say both the haploid and diploid phase are multicellular here. Okay, so it is an intermediate type of condition, an intermediate of the haplontic and diplontic type of life cycle. Okay, here both the phases are represented by the multicellular structure, but there are two conditions. In some plants haploid phase is dominant, and in some diploid phase is dominant. Okay, so let's see the examples of these two conditions. First is a dominant independent photosynthetic thalloid or erect phase is represented by a haploid gametophyte. Okay, so here what is the dominant phase? Haploid phase is dominant. Haploid phase means gametophyte. Gametophyte is always haploid. So gametophyte is representing the dominant phase here. Okay, that gametophyte is haploid, independent, photosynthetic, and it can be thalloid or erect. Okay, and it is dominant. And it alternates with the short-lived multicellular sporophyte. Okay, so the sporophyte structure is short-lived here. It is multicellular, but it is short-lived. An example of such life cycle is in bryophytes. Okay, while doing the life cycle of bryophytes, I told you this thing that in bryophytes, gametophytic phase is the dominant phase. Okay, so same thing is given here, right? So this is a type of haplodiplontic life cycle. Both the structure means both the gametophyte and the sporophyte are multicellular structure here, but gametophytic phase is dominant, right? Now see the second condition. The diploid sporophyte is represented by a dominant, independent, photosynthetic, vascular plant body. Right, what is happening here? Which one is dominant? Sporophyte is dominant here. Okay, and that sporophyte is independent, that is photosynthetic, and it is having the vascular bundles like xylem and phloem. Okay, so vascular plant body we can say. It alternates with multicellular, that can be sporophytic or autotrophic, independent but short-lived haploid gametophyte. Right, so gametophyte is short-lived here, and sporophyte is dominant. So here the condition is opposite. Which one is dominant here? Sporophyte, and example is pteridophyte. So this thing also we have discussed earlier at the time of life cycle of pteridophytes, that in pteridophytes, opposite of the bryophytes, sporophytic phase is the dominant. Right, so this is also an example of haplodiplontic life cycle. So both bryophytes and pteridophytes represent haplodiplontic type of life cycle. The only difference is that in one haploid phase is dominant and in another diploid phase is dominant. Right, now what happens? Some alga genera such as Ectocarpus is an algae, also Polysiphonia, Calps. So these algae, Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia and Calps, these are haplodiplontic. Okay, otherwise most of the algae represent haplontic type of life cycle, but here these are exceptions. So these algae represent haplodiplontic life cycle. Now see this figure for the haplodiplontic life cycle. Here we can start from any phase because both the phases can be dominant, and here you can see the difference between these two portions. These are equally divided. Okay, 50-50% parts for the both, because both the phases can represent the dominant phase. Okay, so let's start from the gametophyte from here. This gametophyte by gametogenesis makes the gametes, and those gametes by syngamy forms the zygote. Then zygote gives, after the development, give rise to the sporophyte, and this sporophyte is spore producing body. Okay, so by meiosis, because this sporophyte is 2n means diploid structure, right? So meiosis division occurs in it and spores are formed here. Okay, spores are formed by meiosis division. Right, now these spores are having n, means these are haploid. Okay, these spores after germination again form a gametophyte. Okay, and what is the difference, how it is different from the haplodiplontic life cycle? Here you can see this difference, this line is in between. Okay, so both the phases are having equal portion here. Okay, because both the phases can be dominant here, and both the phases are showing the equal duration. Okay, in bryophytes, gametophyte is for the longer duration, and in pteridophytes, sporophyte is for the longer duration. Right, now based on today's topics, your homework is learn and practice making the 3 types of life cycle in plants. Those are haplontic, diplontic and haplodiplontic life cycle. Just make the flowcharts for all these. Then let's discuss the homework solution of previous lecture. Question number 2 of NCERT is, when and where does reduction division takes place in the life cycle of a liverwort, a moss, a fern, a gymnosperm and an angiosperm? So you need to tell about the reductional division in the life cycle of these plants. Okay, so in liverworts, meiosis takes place in the spore mother cell of the capsule in sporangium, resulting in haploid spore formation. Okay, so in liverworts, the capsule that is formed, Footseta capsule in the sporophyte that has been formed. So inside the capsule, meiosis division occur and that result into formation of haploid spores. Now let's see in case of mosses. In case of mosses, meiosis occurs in spore mother cells of the spore sac. Here also inside the capsule, spore mother cells are present, and those spore mother cells undergo meiosis division. You can say in the capsule that is present, okay, capsule of sporangium, right? Now that spore mother cell by meiosis division forms the spores. Okay, so it is almost same in case of liverworts and mosses. Okay, now in case of fern, sporangia are endured on sporophylls. What are sporophylls? These are fertile leaves. Okay, means modified leaves, you can say. The process of meiosis occur in spore mother cells. Here also spore mother cells are undergoing meiosis division. Where these spore mother cells are present, these are present in sporangium. Okay, and meiosis division occur for the formation of haploid spores. Now in case of gymnosperms, meiosis occurs in microsporangia located in microsporophylls, right? In the microsporophylls, you know, microsporangia is present, and in that microsporangia, microspores are formed by meiosis division. Now what is present inside the microsporangia? Microspore mother cell, and that microspore mother cell undergoes meiosis division for the formation of haploid pollen grains, giving rise to male gametophyte. Now in case of angiosperm, pollen grains that are formed in microspore mother cells lead to the formation of male gametophyte in the anther of the stamen. Okay, here what happened, you know about the stamen, this is male reproductive organ of the present in the flower, right? Now anther is present there, and inside the anther microsporangium is present, in which microspore mother cells are present, and these microspore mother cells undergo meiosis division to form the pollen grains. And also another meiosis division is occurring in megaspore mother cell, and that megaspore mother cell is located in the nucleus of the ovule, in the nucellus of the ovule, and it undergoes meiosis division for the formation of haploid megaspore, which eventually forms the female gametophyte. So you can say in the angiosperms, meiosis division is occurring in the megaspore mother cell and also in the microspore mother cell. And where these mother cells are present, microspore mother cell is present inside the anther, and megaspore mother cell is present inside the ovule. It is present inside the nucellus of the ovule. Now this is answer of question number 4 of NCERT. You need to tell the ploidy of the following cells. Okay, so here the names of cells are given, and here I am telling you the ploidy, which is found in either the cell is haploid, diploid or triploid. Okay, so first of all let's talk about the protonymal cell of a moss. So protonymal cell of a moss is, you can say, this is the first stage in the first gametophytic stage, first stage for the formation of gametophytic body in case of mosses, right? So it is having haploids. number of chromosomes. Okay, so this is haploid. Then primary endosperm nucleus in dicot. You know, primary endosperm nucleus is formed by triple fusion, means male gametes and two polar nuclei. So it is triploid. Then leaf cell of a moss. If we talk about the leaf cell of a moss, moss is a bryophyte, you know, right? And bryophytes have gametophyte as their dominant phase. So their leaf cell is having haploid structure. Their leaf cell is haploid because gametophyte is a haploid structure. Now prothallus cell of a fern, and prothallus is also a stage of the gametophytic phase, so it is also haploid. Gamma cells in Markensia. Markensia is a bryophyte, right? And gamma cells are present there for the vegetative propagation of the Markensia, and these gamma cells are present on their gametophytic phase. They are present in their gametophytic phase. Okay, gametophyte is the dominant plant body in case of bryophytes, and gamma cells are present on that. So these gamma cells are also haploid. Then meristem cell of monocot. Now monocot are means angiosperm. Okay, one type of angiosperm. Monocot are angiosperm, and you know, in angiosperm all the cells which are present except some gametophytes, okay, male and female gametophyte, all other cells are diploid because that is representing sporophytic plant body. That's why the meristem cells will also be diploid. Now ovum of a liverwort. Ovum is a gamete, okay, and gametes are always haploid. So ovum of a liverwort will be haploid. Now zygote. Zygote is formed by the fusion of two gametes, right? And when the two gametes fuse, then obviously a diploid structure will be formed. Okay, so zygote is always a diploid structure. So zygote of a fern is diploid. This is answer of question number 6 of NCERT. Following following are the reason for classifying the angiosperm and gymnosperms separately. So what are the differences in angiosperms and gymnosperms, we can say? So in gymnosperms, ovules are naked, whereas they are enclosed inside the ovary in angiosperms, right? Naked ovule is found in the gymnosperms because flowers are not present there. But in case of angiosperms, these ovules are enclosed inside the ovary. Then second point is, in gymnosperms, endosperm is haploid and produced before fertilization. I hope you remember about the endosperm, the structure that provide nutrition to the developing zygote, right? So in case of gymnosperm, that endosperm is haploid and that is produced before the fertilization. But in case of angiosperm, endosperm is triploid and it is formed after the double fertilization, right? Endosperm is formed. In case of angiosperm, it is formed by fusion of one male gamete with two polar nuclei, means by triple fusion, and it is a triploid structure, right? So this is also a difference. Then in gymnosperms, double fertilization does not occur, but in angiosperms, you know, double fertilization occur, right? In gymnosperms, wood is non-porous, means pores are not present in the wood, and in angiosperms, wood is porous, means pores are present in the wood. Now answer of question number 9 of NCERT, and this is fourth part of question number 9. And the question is, what is difference between syngamy and triple fusion? So this is the difference. Syngamy is the fusion of male gamete with the ovum. Okay, you know about the double fertilization. So what is happening here in case means why it is calling we are calling it double fertilization, because once the syngamy is occurring and also triple fusion is occurring. So syngamy is the fusion when the male gamete fuses with the ovum, means egg. Okay, one egg cell fused with the male gamete, and that process is called syngamy. Whereas triple fusion is the fusion of another male gamete with two polar nuclei. You know, another male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei which are present in the center of the central cell in the embryo sac. Okay, so when another male gamete fuses with those polar nuclei, that process is called triple fusion, because the three haploid structures are fusing here. So this is called triple fusion. Now this is answer for the question number 10 of NCERT, and you need to differentiate monocots and dicots. So both are angiosperm. Now what are the differences? In monocots, first difference is we will say monocots having single cotyledon while dicots have two cotyledons, right? Now let's talk about the venation. Venation means the you see some lines in the leaves. When you see leaf of any plant, you see some lines. Okay, so those are veins. Okay, and the arrangement of those veins inside the leaf is called venation. Now you observe some leaf around you, and then you will see that sequence or that arrangement of the veins is not similar in all the leaves. That is different. Okay, so that is called venation. Different arrangement of the veins in leaves is called venation, right? And this venation is parallel in monocots. Parallel venation will be found in the leaves of monocots, while in the leaves of the dicots, this venation is reticulate venation. Reticulates means it will form a network like structure. Okay, so this is reticulate venation in dicot leaf and parallel venation in monocot leaf. Then third difference is flowers are trimerous in case of monocots. Trimerous means the petals of the flower that you see. Okay, those will be 3 petals or a multiple of the 3. Means it can be 6, it can be 9, it can be 12. The number of the petals will be like this in the flowers. But here in the dicots, flowers are tetramerous or pentamerous. Okay, so here in the dicot flower, what will be the case? Either tetramerous means either the 4 petals will be present or the multiple of the 4, like 4, 8, 12. This will be the case in case of the dicot flower. Or it can be pentamerous, means it can be 5, 10, 15 like this. Okay, so this is the difference in the flowers of the monocots and dicots. Now next difference is about the root. So primary root replaced by adventitious roots and are short-lived. So in case of monocot, what happened? Adventitious type of roots are found. Okay, and I hope you know about the type of root, adventitious and taproot system. In adventitious root system, what happened? Primary root is replaced by the adventitious roots, means here the different roots arise from a single point. Okay, and these are short-lived. And in case of dicots, primary root occur in few cases. Primary root is long-lived here, and taproot system is found here. Now vascular bundle is scattered. Vascular bundle means xylem and phloem, that is scattered in case of monocots. And in case of dicots, those vascular bundles are organized in a ring, in a circle those are organized. Okay, but here these vascular bundles are scattered here and there. These are not organized. Then in monocots, vascular cambium is absent. About the vascular cambium you will study in the chapter anatomy of plants. Okay, in your 11th class, in the same class you will study about it, about the vascular cambium in the chapter anatomy of plants. Okay, so vascular cambium is absent in monocots and it is present in dicots. This is another difference.